The formation of equation of a straight line, or basically a linear equation, right? Let's talk about linear inequalities today, and then we will practice all of this thing together, okay? But not right now. Once we are done with some content, then we are going to practice this. Okay. All right. So in this class, we are going to talk about linear inequalities. Now, this is something very important. This is something very important. Okay. Now, what exactly is an inequality? How do we differentiate in an equation and an inequality? That's very simple. So for instance, if you have y equals to x plus 1, and if you have y is greater than 2x plus 1, we know that this is the equality sign and this is inequality sign. So this is an equation and this is an inequality. This is how we differentiate. If an expression has equality in it, please keep your mics muted. I'm not sure whose mic is this. 1 second. Okay. Yes. So if an expression is having equation, if it's an equation, it would be having equal to sign, and if it has an inequality, it would basically be an inequality. It's simple, right? Okay. This is the basic differentiation. Now, how exactly do we solve an inequality? Now, that is important. Let's talk about that quickly. So I have few questions here. Okay. Now imagine if I talk about the first question. Two x plus 5 is greater than equal to 0. And another example would be t plus 2, this whole thing is being multiplied by 2 and it is less than 2. So you need to just solve these inequalities. How do we solve an equation? We make the variable the subject. Similarly, when it is a linear inequality, you are just supposed to make the variable the subject of the equation. Okay. This is the variable. I need to separate it to make it the subject. So I will take this plus 5 on the other side and it would become 2x is greater than equal to minus 5. Now I'm almost done. I just have this 2 that is being multiplied with x. So I'll take it on the other side and I would divide it. So it would become x is greater than equal to minus 5 divided by 2. So far, things were simple. We did not talk about anything that was different. It's just this, that you need to make your variable the subject, but we do have conditions. We'll talk about them later, okay? For the second one, again, t is the subject. I need to separate it. Imagine this was an equation. How would you have solved it? So first of all, I am going to get rid of this 2. Now this 2 is being multiplied with the entire thing, right? So before taking this 2 over there, no, I would not take this 2. This 2 is being multiplied. So first of all, I am going to divide it on the other side, and this would give me t plus 2 is less than 2 divided by 2. This would be cancelled. I would get 1. Then it's t plus 2. Okay. Now I just have the variable 2 is being added. I'll take 2 on the other side and this would give me t is less than 1 minus 2. So t is less than minus 1. Okay. This is how exactly we solve inequalities, just like we solve simple equations. Okay. Another thing, How do we represent this on number line? Like that's also important. Let's talk about that now. So this is basically your number line. This is 0. This is minus 5 by 2. And it says x is greater than equal to minus 5 by 2. So what does this mean like in English? How do I translate it, right? One second. Urva, yeah, yes, say it now.
It means that it is equal to or greater than 5 negative 5 over 2.
Very good. Well done. Okay. So this means that it can be negative 5 by 2. It could be anything that is greater than negative 5 by 2, right? So I am going to just make a line like this. And I need to make sure that this is a filled circle because it could be minus 5 by 2 as well. Okay. So if I talk about the similar concept over here, so it is t is less than minus 1. This is 0. This is minus 1. Now t is less than minus 1. It is not less than or equal to. So I will make a hollow circle over here and it is less than minus 1. So if it is less than minus 1, it would be something on the left side of minus 1, right? Are you guys getting this concept?
Yes.
Okay. Can we directly minus 4 and 4, we'd get minus 1 with that method? One second. Let me just understand your query. I could not understand this question. Okay, so we have. Okay, wait, one second. Let me address the first query. Urva, can you please write down the thing again? I could not interpret what you were saying. Oh, I think you were saying that first we take this 2 and we multiply this 2 with t and we multiply this 2 with this 2 and then we take that 4 on the other side. Is this what you were saying? You can definitely do it that way as well. Certainly, you would get the same answer, right? You can do it that way as well. And I have another query. So, ma'am, is the number line important in the final solution? No, no, no. Number line is not important in the final solution. It totally depends. If the examiner is asking you to make the number line, in that case, you would be, I'm making the number line because there is some other concept linked with linear inequalities, right? Basically, there's a chapter called graphical representation of linear inequalities. So for that, we need to think about all of this as well, okay? But directly, he won't ask you to make the number line for these basic inequalities, no. Okay, let's talk about some more questions quickly. Third one is 3 into m plus 6 is less than equal to 4, okay? And if we talk about the solution, so it's very simple. So now let's do it that way. Think about it as an equation. If this was an equation, you have two methods. Either you can directly take this 3 on the other side, or you can multiply this 3 with m and 6 and then expand. Okay, so both the methods would be correct. Let's just multiply this 3 with the bracket right here. So 3 multiplied by m would give me 3m plus 3 multiplied by 6 would give me 18 is less than equal to 4. Next, I need to take this 18 on the other side. So this would become 3m is less than equal to 4 minus 18. 3m is less than equal to minus 14. M is less than equal to minus 14 divided by 3. And this is going to be the answer. Yes. Urva, did you understand the idea now? That here in this question, we did it other way around and still we were able to find the answer. Okay. All right. Let's talk about another question. This one is for you guys. So it's S divided by 4 and 1 second. S was in the brackets. S plus 2 and this is greater than 1. Yes, please solve this inequality and tell me the final answer. Yes, anyone who is done? Very good, Taha, that's correct. I think all of you can do it. Please try doing it quickly. Bipesh, your answer is correct. It's just something with the sign of your inequality. Please check that once. Very good, Noshavan, Moiz, Hassan. Very good. Okay, well done. So you guys are good with it. Okay, very good, Bipesh. We'll take this 4 on the other side. It's being divided on the left side, so it would be multiplied on the right side. S plus 2 is greater than 4. We have positive 2 here. I'll just take this on the other side and it would become S is greater than 4 minus 2 and it would be S is greater than 2 and this is the final answer. If I quickly represent this on the number line, so this is 0, this is 2, S is greater than 2. So I am going to make a hollow circle at 2 because 2 is not included and it is greater than 2. Okay. So this is how we used to interpret linear inequalities, right? This is something that some of you would be comfortable with already because you guys are good at equation making and solving equations, right? So what happened to one? Like which one? This one? When we will take this 4 on the other side, it's being divided here. It would be multiplied on the other side. So 1 multiplied by 4 would become 4. Okay. Is it okay now? Yes. Okay. All right. So this is fine. This concept is easy. More important concept is basically what I just said, graphical representation of equations. Okay. Equation of line. So I'll tell you the idea. And then we will talk about the past paper questions together, like once we are done with good concept. Okay. So let me just make two scenarios here. So here we have a linear equation, and this is basically a linear inequality. This is a linear equation and this is a linear inequality. Let me just make both the scenarios. So this one is y is equal to 3 by 2x plus 3. And this one is y is less than equal to 3 by 2x plus 3. Okay, so you have two things. You have a linear equation and then you have a linear inequality. Apparently both are the same. The only difference is one is coming with the equality sign and the other one is coming with an inequality sign. So how exactly do we understand, how exactly do we differentiate in the graphical representations of both the things? Okay, so you guys know by now that whenever you look at any linear equation, so it is an equation and it is linear because the power of x is 1, this would make a line. How exactly would you make this line? Can anyone tell me? How do we make this line on graph?
By making a coordinate.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Okay. So how do you do it? It's very simple. I'll tell you. You have your equation. This is your x-axis. X-axis is 0, 1, 2, and so on. The best thing to, or the best method to make line using the equation of line is just to find 2 points. You guys know that if you want to make any line, you need 2 points. And when you will join those 2 points, you would get that line. Okay. So let's find those 2 points. Okay. What I will do is I will just find the excess points. Like this is my y-axis, that the other one is my x-axis. I know that on the y-axis, x is 0. So for y-axis, I will do x equals 0 in y equals 3 by 2x plus 3. I will plug in x equals 0 here in order to see the y value. Okay, and this would give me the y value on the y-axis basically. So this would become y equals 0 plus 3. This means that when x is 0, y is 3. So y is 3 and x is 0. So this is going to be the first point. This is going to be the first point. I need to find another point. It's completely your choice. You can plug in 1 here, you can plug in 2 here, you can plug in 3 here, you can plug in any x coordinate and then find the corresponding y coordinate. That is your choice. Okay. Next, you can do x equals 1. That's also fine. So using x equals 1, I would get y equals 3 by 2 into 1 plus 3. And this would give me 3 by 2 is 1.5. So 1.5 plus 3 would give you 4.5. This means that when x is 1, y is 4.5. So let me just quickly extend this. So this is y. Now when x is equal to 1, this is x equals 1, y is 4.5. Okay. Now these are the 2 points which I need to connect in order to make the line. So I'll try making a proper line if I can. Okay. So just imagine that this pink point was basically here. Like, wait a second. This was the first coordinate and this is the second coordinate. Now please pay attention and explain this concept again. Okay. Right now we are learning how exactly do we represent equations and inequalities on graph. Okay, we'll talk about inequalities later. For now, just focus on equations. Okay, so you know that the equation is y equals 3 by 2x plus 3. This equation was already given. Okay, and now using this equation you need to just make the line. What do? You have a variety of options here. You can use any. In order to make a line, you need 2 points. Okay, you can't make a line with 1 point. So for example, if I know that my line is passing through this point, it could be that this is my line, it could be that this is my line, it could be that this is my line. So I need at least 2 points to make that line. Okay, now how exactly do I find those 2 points? I have the equation. I can plug in any two x values and find the corresponding y values. So I plugged in x equals 0, I plugged in x equals 1, and I got two y values, and I've just connected those 2 points and I made a long line. So this is going to be your line on the graph, and this is how we represent this equation written in the pink rectangle. Any confusions with this?
No confusions.
Okay, Abdullah, are you clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Bipesh, Hassan, Sahal, Kabir, Nosharwan, Noor.
Clear.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Well done. Excellent. So this means that we know how exactly do we represent a line. Okay, we'll talk about more scenarios, but for now, we need to understand how do we represent this inequality. Okay, so let me quickly just make the axis. This is my y-axis, this is the x-axis, and let me make that line as well. Okay, so for this equation, this was basically our line. It was something of this type. This was basically 3, and yeah, that is pretty much it. Okay, so I have basically made the line against y equals 3 by 2x plus 3, but you were not asked to make this line. You need to represent this inequality on graph. Now think about it logically. Okay, this yellow line is for y is equal to 3 by 2x plus 3. If it says y is less than or equal to, when it is y is equal to, you have this yellow solid line. When it says it is y, when it says y is less than or equal to 3 by 2x plus 3, so it would be all the region that is coming under this yellow line. Okay, so this is going to be your graphical representation for this inequality. I repeat, whenever you have been asked to represent any inequality on graph, step one is to make the corresponding equation and then make your line. So your inequality was y is less than or equal to 3 by 2x plus 3. I do not know how to deal with it directly. So step one is to make your equation. I've just removed the inequality sign. I wrote equal to sign, and I know how exactly to make that line. I made that yellow line again. Okay. Next, I was asked to shade the region for y is less than or equal to 3 by 2x plus 3. Okay, so if yellow line is says for y is equal to, so when you have y is less than or equal to, it would certainly be everything that is coming under the line, right? Are you guys getting this idea?
I understand.
Yes, ma'am. I
I get.
understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, so this is how exactly do we deal with it. Okay, just give me one more minute. Let's talk about uh, a few more examples, and then you guys would get good at it. Okay, all right, so again, we would be first making the line, and then we will make the inequality. Okay, so this time around it is y is equal to x plus 2, and then it is y is greater than or equal to x plus 2. So two scenarios. Okay, and for both the scenarios, for both the examples, you need to represent the thing on graph. This is what the idea is this time around. Okay, so it says y equals x plus 2. I can use x equals 0 in the equations. This would give me y equals 0 plus 2, and it would be 2. So this means that when x is 0, y is basically 2. This is 1 and this is 2. So imagine your y is 2. So this is the first point. For the second point, I can use x equals 1 and this would give me y equals 1 plus 2 and that is 3. This is 1. So when x is 1, y is basically 3. This is going to be your second point. Next, you need to connect these 2 points in order to make your line. Okay, I'm doing it over here. That is why I'm not able to connect it properly because of the software. But on paper, obviously, you would be doing it by scale. So you would be able to connect the 2 points. Okay, so this was the first point. This is your second point, and I've just connected these 2 points and I was able to represent this linear equation graphically. So this is how we represent line. We know that. Fair enough. Perfect. Okay. Next is your inequality. So it says y is greater than equal to x plus 2. Step 1 is to think about your corresponding equation. So think about y is equal to x plus 2. We have just made something similar. So this is going to be your line for y equals x plus 2. This is going to be 2 and that is it. You are supposed to represent the region for y is greater than equal to x plus 2. So this time around it says y is greater than or equal to x plus 2. So for this, you will be shading everything that is above the line. Okay. So we are just supposed to shade all of this region that is basically above your straight line, because you were not supposed to represent y equals to x plus 2. Yes, for that you would have just made the yellow line, but you were supposed to represent for y is greater than equal to x plus 2. So it says y is greater than equal to. So because of this equal to, this line is basically going to be a solid line, right? If it was y is greater than x plus 2, in that case, I would have made a dotted line, just like this idea, just like what we have discussed for simple inequalities. So when it was s is greater than 2, I made a hollow circle at 2 just to represent that it's starting off from 2, but 2 is not included. Similarly, in both these scenarios, we have made a solid line because we had greater than equal to, and again for the previous question we had less than equal to, right? That is why I was making a solid line. You'll understand the idea within the once we're done with the third example basically. Okay, so this is example number 3. Let me write on the statement. Represent the following on graph. So it is y is equal to minus x plus 3. Okay. Again, first of all, this is an equation. So you need to make your straight line. How do we make straight line? We will take x equals 0. It would give me y equals 0 plus 3, and this would be 3. So this is the first point, and then we will take x equals 1. So it would be y equals minus 1 plus 3, and it would give me 2. So I have my 2 points, and now I can certainly just make the line. So when x is 0, y is 3. This is y equals 3. When x is 0, this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis, and here x is 1. So y is basically going to be 2. This is 2, and this is going to be your point. Next, I'm just supposed to connect these two 1 second. Let me just connect the 2 points first and then I will. So this is going to be the line. I'm making it this way because of my software. You will just connect the two lines. And this is basically 3. When x is 0, y is 3. And when x is 1, y was 2. Okay, so this is basically going to be your line. So this was the point and this was the point, and we have just connected the 2 points. Okay, for you guys, you would have your graphing paper. You're just supposed to make the 2 points and connect them by scale. Okay, this is something different. I'm using another software, that is why I'm not able to make it properly. Okay, and this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis. So this was a simple this was an equation. I was able to find a line against it. Okay, important part is coming over here. It's y equals less than minus x plus 3. Now imagine this is the thing. Okay, so for this, let me just quickly make the same line, because step 1 is to make corresponding line. Here is the line. Okay, you can make a short line, you can make a long line, that's completely up to you. Okay, we are not talking about the length of line. It could be a short line, it could be a long line. Try making a long line, in fact. Okay, so it says y is less than minus x plus 3. So what do you think? Would it be region A or would it be region B? Y is less than minus x plus 3. Yes.
It's region B, ma'am.
Very good. Well done. Excellent. It would be region B because y is less than. Okay. So I am just going to shade this part properly. Okay. And for some questions, you guys would already get the shaded part. Okay. So we'll talk about the questions later on. This is a detailed concept. Don't worry. This is going to be the idea. And what about the other stuff? Is everything correct in this representation? Do I need to change something? Okay.
Line, I think the line.
Very good.
Because
Yes.
because it is not is equal to.
Excellent. Yes, you're
equal to.
right. You're right. You're right. Very good. This is just this, that y is less than minus x plus 3. It is not y is less than equal to. So for this, I need to make a dotted line. Okay. And how do I make dotted line? So I am just going to wait. Let me make the line again then. I am just supposed to make a dotted line for this scenario. So basically, when I was in O levels, I used to make a line and then I used to just, erase some spaces of the line, because I was always very bad at drawing, and you guys can see that. So yes, so I used to just use the eraser that, that comes with pencils. That used to be a small eraser, and I used to erase that just to make a perfect dotted line, right? Okay. But this is basically the idea behind graphical representation of an equation and for an inequality. Okay. For the next part, this is a question for you, which you guys can do and take 5 minutes. You do it right now in front of me. This time around, I would give you shaded region and I would want you to make corresponding inequality. Y-axis. This is my x-axis and this is my y-axis, and I have a line that is something of this type. The 2 points are, this one is 0 and -5, and then this point right here is 2 and 2, and the shaded part is basically this part. So now you guys know 1 second, let me just complete. And let me make the line again using blue color. Okay, this is something, some region is given and you need to find the equation or inequality or whatever it is that is representing this graph. Okay, find the corresponding equation slash inequality. This is what you need to do.
Ma'am, did you receive my answer?
Yes, I have just seen your answer. Wait 1 second. So you got
Ma'am, how are you supposed to do the less than or equal to sign? Less than or equal to
yes,
sign?
okay, that is right. Is this Bipesh speaking?
No, it's Hassan.
Okay, all right, 1 second. So for now, I just got one answer. Uh, Acha Hassan, I did not get your answer basically. I just got one answer. That is by 1 second. Let me just message you on this thing so then you can reply me, okay? And then I'll see if you were able to do it correctly or not. Okay, I've messaged you on Zoom. Just reply to this account. And then I'll address your query that how exactly we identify if it's going to be less than, greater than, or less than equal to, or greater than equal to. Okay, let's quickly just see how exactly we are going to solve this question. We have less time now. Its time is already up. Okay. For this question, first of all, you need to find out the corresponding equation of line, right? It's, you guys can clearly see that it is going to be an inequality because you have some region shaded. For equations, there used to be a line only, right? So there would be, this is going to be an inequality, but for that you need to talk about the corresponding equation. How do you find the corresponding equation? You already have 2 points. So it is y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1. I'm just supposed to plug in everything. M is going to be y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. This is your first point. You can think about it as first point. The second point, this would be x1, y1, this would be x2, and this would be your y2. So y2 minus y1, minus 5 minus 2 divided by 0 minus 2, and this would give you minus 7 by minus 2, minus 7 by minus 2, and finally upon simplification this would be 3.5. Okay, m is 3.5. Now I can plug in the values. Y minus, I can pick up any point. I'll just use this point. Let's say, let's use this one, 2 and 2. So it's y minus 2 equals m is 3.5. X minus x1 is also 2. And upon simplification, I would get y is equal to 3.5x minus 3.5 multiplied by 2 would give me 7 plus 2, and this is going to be y is equal to 3.5x minus 5, and this is correct. I can clearly see that my x-intercept is minus 5 and I'm getting minus 5 as my x-intercept, but we are not done yet. This is just the equation of the line. Now think about it. Now this is your line and you have everything above the line, right? It's above the line. So this means that it is basically going to be an inequality y greater than 3.5x minus 5 because it is above the line. Next question is if it should be greater than or greater than equal to. It won't, it would be greater than equal to. Why? Because you need to see, you need to look at your line. Your line is basically a solid line. This line is not dotted. The blue line is solid. So this means that it would be y is greater than equal to 3.5x minus 5, right? Any confusions with this? Yes, Hassan,
No
very good.
confusions.
Very good, Taha. Your answer is correct. Okay, so I hope that you guys were able to understand this concept and you have no queries for this. I'll send some questions. I won't be sending past paper questions for this because we need to do them first. I'll just send some questions of my own, right? I'll write them down. I'll send them to you tomorrow for the weekend. Do them. And then we'll talk about the past paper questions on Monday, okay?